Hi everyone. These next set of pictures are from the Great Divide Basin, roughly south of Atlantic City and South Pass City. And by the way, it's really funny, they're both called cities. They're pretty small. Through Rollins and on to Battle Pass, which is just a little north of the Colorado-Wyoming border. Basically, I hiked that in two pieces. One from just south of South Pass City to Rollins, and that was in June of 2019, and then from Rollins to Battle Pass in June of 2020. I realized that the through hikers might not be getting into the Great Divide Basin if they're able to do the whole route from New Mexico through Colorado in one fell swoop. They won't get to the Great Divide Basin until maybe July. And others will choose to flip from the Colorado-New Mexico border to the Great Divide Basin and come back and do parts of Colorado later. So I just want to say that, well, June is the best. It's a whole different experience from July. In July, the hikers are going to find greater heat and more concerned about finding water. Whereas in June, the temperatures were pleasant, and honestly, I did not have a concern about finding water. It wasn't exactly, everywhere, but you could find it, and I didn't really have big cause for concern to find it. I do want to say there's some things about the weather in the Great Divide Basin you want to be aware of. First of all, the wind is constant, day and night, pretty much incessant. The second thing is that even if you've been in thunderstorms before, maybe on the Appalachian Trail, certainly I've been in many in Colorado, the thunderstorms in the Great Divide Basin are like no other. Because, for one thing, you don't have many places to hide. I was nailed to the ground in June in a thunderstorm in the Great Divide Basin just south of South Pass City in June of 2019 for an hour and a half. And it was an unforgettable experience. I wrote about it even, and it got published. The story got published in Deep Wild Journal, so I guess it must have been a pretty good story. So, it's all part of the trail experience, are these surprises like that. Also about the Great Divide Basin, maybe obviously, is you cover ground a lot faster than you will anywhere else on the CDT, just because, well, it's not completely flat. It's much more that than anywhere else on the trail. So even for someone like me who does not regularly hike in excess of 20 miles a day, I could do that. 23, 24 miles was perfectly fine for me. So for others, you might be pushing more than 30 miles without it being honestly a big deal. But let's be honest, we don't go out there just to cover ground quickly. The experience of the Great Divide Basin probably has more mixed reviews than any other part of the CDT from what I've read. A lot of people don't like it. I loved it. I loved the vastness of the landscape. My gosh, you could see forever. And I just liked some of the surprises. And I have to say, my favorite surprise after that thunderstorm drying out was coming over a rise and seeing, for the first time in my life, wild horses. And there isn't a hiker that goes through that basin that doesn't hope they'll see that. And they're beautiful. and the cows going down to the creek. It is Wyoming after all. This is from the top of Bridger Peak, pointing towards Battle Pass, where my car is parked. Dave is on the phone with his wife Laura. This is the bottom of the radio tower at Bridger Peak. And yes, you can see snow around because we had to get through that to get up here, which really slowed down the hiking and took us, it's just slightly over a mile per hour pace because of that. But this is Colorado,